What's up there, YouTube? This is Mr. Savage and also Savage Off-Road Mowers on TikTok. And today I want to talk to you about a little upgrade that I do on my Peerless 820 transaxles that makes them a whole lot tougher. All right, flipping around here. This center bolt hole in here just takes one of these 5/16 bolts, and it gets about that much thread in it or so, and they're pretty well known for stripping out. I mean, you can barely bump any torque to that thing and it strips. Well, right here is where the bull gear sits, and then there's a transfer gear that goes from this shaft. I would have it open, but I just put it all back together. There's a shaft that goes across here if you're familiar with any kind of transaxle. And then right here where you see this is another shaft in there that has that transfer gear, that final drive transfer gear from this shaft to the bull gear. Well, there's a lot of pressure. If you ever turn one of these axles like by hand while it's in there, you'll see that gear trying to lift up. There's a lot of pressure in this region, primarily on this bolt, this one, and this one here. Those three bolts take a ton, I'm talking a ton of stress. So what I do with them is I take my 5/16 drill bit and I just run it straight through the hole, wham. And then I take me a 5/16 bolt, couple of washers and a nut. I roll this guy up just like this. I put that right down through the hole. If it'll go, I put that right down through the hole just like that, and you see it comes out right there. And then I just put my nut on, and what that does is instead of just having some janky little threads in there, instead of just having some janky little threads up in there to hold all that pressure, you're now pulling on the entire case, and I think that it gives it a lot more strength, and I think it's going to make this 820 last a whole lot longer. Yesterday I put the EC carbs locker in here. That's with the axle kit. There's the sticker they sent me. Oh hell, another EC trick. ECcarbs.com. Here are the axle ends that I cut off, and I'm actually giving 1.1 more in there than what my stock was, what the stock axles gave me. It was a hard locker to put together. The tolerances are super tight on it. So it was a ton of work, to get it together. A lot of tap with a rubber mallet, trying not to tear anything up, just trying to gently ease it together, and a ton of WD-40, just trying to get those aluminum castings to slide over it. Basically, you're just taking and you're replacing these here. These are your sealed differential caps. You're replacing those with an aluminum cap that has a keyway through on both sides, and then you're sliding a complete axle all the way through. And if you look at these here, these have already been pre-drilled out to 1 inch for the dock lock, the Peerless dock locker 820 system, and I just hadn't got around to running that yet. Recently at Fast Track's Mud Bog, I ran really hard, and I had my spiders welded to the shaft. Well, my welds held up phenomenally well. You can see there's one weld, there's the other weld. What happened, you have these blocks that are in there on the inside of that bull gear that kind of help lock that shaft in there. They shattered. Then this part here, this bull gear pin, just broke right in half. And then all the spider gears just started eating apart. And what happened is that they conglomerated in there in such a way that they were keeping the axle locked, but you could definitely tell something was off. There's no doubt about it. You could tell there was something definitely wrong. So that's it. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'm going to start getting some more videos on here because I'm getting tired of posting things to Facebook, and TikTok just isn't long enough for me to post all the stuff that I do, because I do a lot of shit. Speaking of which, there's a lot of shit that I've done. Thank you for watching.